Tonight, I want to talk about the biggest unknown threat that's keeping you from optimal health. You know, a lot of people I talk to are still ignoring this despite the amount of evidence. So, I want to lay out the main impacts this is having on your health. And what I'm talking about is blue light. And blue light is literally everywhere today. It's unavoidable. It's from our screens, it's in energy efficient lights. And pretty much wherever you go, whether it's indoors or outdoors, we're surrounded by blue light. Carlos, I'm glad you asked. These are actually the new raw optics, and they have a different lens. So they use blue tech lenses. So instead of a colored lens, there's a pigment in the lens. So you can see there's a slight tint to them. And this pigment in the lens actually filters out blue light. So it's not available to the public yet. These are some of the first ones that Raw Optics came out with. And over the next month or so, they will become available. But they're really good because a lot of people feel kind of funny about wearing either yellow or orange glasses. And I still wear my orange glasses at night, but during the day I wear these and they don't alter the color. So they're really awesome. I'll be sending an email out to my list, and I'll probably share on social media once these are available to the public. But they are really good, and they do minimize blue light exposure. So really where I want to start with this is I want to talk about the high level impact of blue light. So there are really four things that you have to watch out for. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Taz. So the first thing blue light does is it disrupts your circadian rhythm. And a little over a year ago in 2017, the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology was awarded for the circadian rhythm. And the key things you need to understand about your circadian rhythm is they control your growth. So when you have damage, when you cut your hand, when your body needs to make new cells, when it needs to make new hormones, that's growth. That's all controlled by your circadian rhythm. So when your circadian rhythm isn't working well, you're not going to have the ability to repair the damage from either you harming yourself or just exposure to environmental toxins or whatever. Metabolism. Metabolism is when you eat food and the ability of your body to convert that food into energy. So when your metabolism is off, you get diseases like diabetes, obesity, heart disease, cancer. Those are all metabolic diseases. And then your hormones. So when your body doesn't make adequate hormones, you don't feel good. You don't have drive. You don't have motivation. If you're a guy and you're not making enough testosterone, it's hard to put on muscle. If you're a lady and you don't make enough testosterone, you can easily break your bones. So it causes a whole bunch of downstream effects, and we're going to get into that. So number one is it disrupts your circadian rhythm. Number two is it alters your hormones and neurotransmitters. So one of the main hormones that it alters is melatonin. So when you get exposure to blue light, your body stops making melatonin. And most people associate melatonin with getting into a deep sleep, but it has a bunch of other roles too. So melatonin is also a very potent antioxidant in your brain. So it protects your brain from chemicals and free radicals and inflammation in general. So when you have lower levels of melatonin, you're not able to protect your brain as well. Now, melatonin also controls your mitochondrial DNA. So low levels of melatonin also impact your body's energy production. So that's the third really big thing you need to watch out for with blue light, is it impairs your energy production. So for some people that shows up as fatigue. For other people, it can show up as anxiety, depression, brain fog. Now, the fourth thing that blue light does is it causes inflammation. So it's a very high energy light. It's the most high energy part of the visible spectrum. And we're starting to see more and more research showing all of the damage that blue light does. Hey, Melina, how you doing? Thanks for saying hi. So those are the four big things at a higher level that blue light does. It disrupts your circadian rhythm. It impairs your body's energy function. It alters your hormones and neurotransmitters, and it increases inflammation. So what are some of the more downstream effects? So number one, poor sleep. So by reducing your body's production of melatonin, you don't get into a deep sleep. And it's kind of interesting. A lot of people I'll talk to, this is one of the first things I bring up. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, I don't block my eyes from blue light and I still sleep pretty well. And you might think that's the case, but if your body's not making adequate levels of melatonin, you're not getting into a deep sleep. So there are 4 stages of sleep, and then there's REM sleep. Stage 1 and 2, you can be in stage 1 and 2 sleep all night and think you had a good night's sleep. But stage 3 and 4 is where your body does all of the repair and regeneration. So when you don't do repair and regeneration, guess what? You age faster. When you don't regenerate, you degenerate. And you need melatonin to get into those deeper stages of sleep where the real magic happens. So you might think you're sleeping, but you're selling yourself short. You're leaving money on the table by not optimizing your body's melatonin levels. So what else? Depression and anxiety. So I talked about how blue light alters your neurotransmitters. So 2 big neurotransmitters that can really impact depression and anxiety are serotonin and dopamine. So when you don't make enough serotonin, it's really hard to be happy. When you don't have the right balance of serotonin and dopamine, you can have anxiety, because serotonin actually acts as a brake for dopamine. When you don't have the right amount of dopamine, you are much more likely to become addicted to things. And you know, as we're seeing, addiction in this country has really exploded. We're seeing a massive number of deaths from opiate overdoses, and we're seeing a lot of other addiction too. Like porn addiction is really bad. A lot of people, pedophilia has really exploded, and that's an addiction. It's a sickness and an addiction. Gambling, but a lot of addictions have really exploded, and it's causing some really, really bad things. Suicide. So a lot of people are becoming so depressed that more and more people are taking their lives, and especially children too. So we're seeing more and more younger children take their lives, and the big key factor that a lot of people are not aware of is this chronic exposure to blue light. What's next? Cancer. So 2 of the biggest cancers, so that the number 1 cancer for men is prostate cancer. And one of the things we know about prostate cancer is you have very low levels of melatonin. So the number 1 cancer for women is breast cancer. And with women, they have very low levels of melatonin locally in the breast. And for men, they have lower levels of melatonin locally in the prostate. And those are 2 areas, for the most part, that don't get a lot of sun. So most women aren't getting sun on their breast. A simple thing you can do to protect yourself if you're a lady from breast cancer is get more sun on your breast. And for men, most of us guys don't get a whole lot of sun on our prostate. So a simple thing you can do to mitigate prostate cancer is get more sun on your prostate. And if you don't have privacy, you can get some Kaniki, which makes it much easier to be able to do that. AMD is something else that is exploding. So AMD is age-related macular degeneration. It's a degeneration of the retina. It's the number 1 cause of blindness. And if you go back 20 years, it was pretty rare. Today, it's really exploded. So we're heading for a huge epidemic of blindness in this country, because now we have this generation that was born into blue light everywhere. They were born into a world where everybody has screens, where we've transitioned from incandescent light bulbs to fluorescent and LED light bulbs. And we're only starting to see the effects now. And if you think about a lot of things that are carcinogenic and cause disease, it doesn't just happen from casual use. You know, it happens from chronic use year after year, decade after decade. So just take a look at most smokers. How many smokers do you know that get lung cancer after 5 or even 10 years of smoking? It tends to happen 20, 30, 40 years down the line. Also, if you look at the explosion, the nuclear explosion in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, most people didn't get cancer from the nuclear fallout until 40 years later. So these things take time, but we're already seeing a massive explosion in disease rates in our children. And a big driver, a lot of the research is pointing to blue light. So I can't emphasize this enough, that you've really got to mitigate blue light. You've got to get very serious about it. And you've got to share this with other people too, because most people just have no idea of how much damage this is causing. Another downstream effect is cardiovascular disease and stroke. So cardiovascular disease is currently the #1 cause of death in the US. Stroke, I think, is #3. But neurodegeneration is also caused by blue light. That is fast approaching the #1 cause of death. So neurodegeneration is exploding. Something else that has been really bad for a long time and is getting worse is diabetes and obesity. Now, there's a direct correlation between diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. So diabetes is, type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. There's a new name for Alzheimer's disease, and that's type 3 diabetes, which is insulin resistance in your brain. So right now, there's something like 450 million people around the world that have diabetes. So just imagine in 10, 15, 20 years, all those people with diabetes, if a large percentage of them get Alzheimer's disease, who's going to care for all those people? So the key thing, the really key thing people need to do to protect themselves is to invest in some good blue blocking glasses. I mentioned earlier, these are the new blue blockers from Raw Optics that use blue tech lenses. But if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can get a very cheap pair from Uvex. They're $10 on Amazon. But it's amazing how many people I talk to. A lot of people reach out to me through Messenger on Facebook. They bring up a challenge they're having. And one of the first questions I always ask people is, are you blocking blue light? And it's amazing how few people are doing that. So invest in just a cheap $10 pair of blue blocker glasses, and you'll be amazed, first of all, in the improvement in your sleep, but second of all, in the other improvements in your health and your well-being that you're going to have. So that's all I have for tonight. Just wanted to share at a higher level the impact that blue light is having on you. If you have any questions, let me know. If you found this valuable, like it and share it. Share it with somebody you know that could use this information. And let's see if there's any questions here. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. But if you've had a challenge, if you've struggled with your health over the past year, and if last year you didn't quite have the health results that you would have liked, and you tried a bunch of different things and you're getting frustrated, reach out to me, send me a message, and we can have a conversation, and I will do my best to give you clarity and help you identify where you're falling short. And if it looks like we'd be a good fit together, I'll share my program, how it works, and we can take it from there. So let's see here. Dewey says Raw Optics is about to go live. Dewey, are you talking about the with the blue tech lenses? Also, Dewey says that Raw Optics is going to be selling frames with no metal. Now, the important thing about that is metal attracts wireless radiation. So it's not such a big deal right now for a lot of us, but if you're in a city with 5G, so like New York City, like LA, like Chicago, like Austin, Texas, 5G is live there. And by wearing glasses with metal in them, these do have metal in them, you are drawing that wireless radiation to your head and to your eyes. So Raw Optics is coming up with a new line of glasses. So first of all, with lenses that use blue tech lenses, but also frames that don't have any metal in them. So if you do live in a 5G city, you're not going to be attracting that wireless radiation to your brain. So Dewey, looking forward to that. I will definitely be getting a new pair once those are out. Carlos says Indianapolis is now 5G. So that's another city. But More and more cities are coming out, rolling out 5G. And the thing about 5G is each carrier has their own kind of brand of 5G. So AT&T has a certain frequency for their 5G. Verizon has another frequency. Mobile One or whatever the other big ones are has a whole nother frequency. So not only are you getting, in the past when they rolled out, when they went from 3G to 4G, it was just these 4G networks. Now they're going to be rolling out multiple 5G networks. So I hope it's not as bad as people think, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence in how things are going to go. Let's see, Dewey says moving raw optics to rawoptics.com. New frames, new kid frames, new lens technology, awesome. So if you guys don't have a quality pair of blue blockers yet, go to rawoptics.com and you can use the code JTOH to save 15%. So get some for you, get some for your family. Let's see, Dewey is just full of knowledge today. Dewey says any city with above 200,000 people is already live with 5G. China is about to go 6G. So I don't even know what 6G is. I'll have to do some research into that. Maybe that'll be a future Facebook Live, or maybe Raw Optics will do a Facebook Live telling us about 6G. So I don't know if I want to find out, but anyway, Dewey, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. And if there are any other questions, let me know. I'll answer them really quick. Yeah, blue blocks are awesome too. So I love Raw Optics. I love blue blocks. If you want to check out blue blocks, they're based out of Australia. So for some people, it might be more convenient to order from blue blocks. But if you want to get some blue blocks, you can use code OPTIMAL to also save 15%. I do own some blue blocks as well. They're both quality glasses. I've seen the spectrometer results for both of them, and they both do fully block blue light. Now, something that I just thought of is I know a lot of people on their phone are using night shift to minimize blue light. Now, Dewey just had a post on Instagram showing with this spectrometer the difference in the light spectrum readout between a phone without night shift on and a phone with night shift on. And while night shift does significantly reduce the amount of blue light emitted from your phone, there is still some blue light and there's some green light. And green light can also alter your melatonin. It can reduce your melatonin. So just because you have night shift on your iPhone or twilight on your Android, you're not fully protected. You are improving it some, but it's not 100% protected. So when I use my phone at night, I have it on. I don't have my phone close to me, but I have it completely red, and I still wear blue blockers just to play it safe. Now, something else I want to point out real quick is I know some people have concerns about light coming in the sides, below, or above your glasses. Now, the only thing you really need to be concerned about with light, with ambient light coming in is from above. So a hack that I've been doing lately is when I go out at night, I wear a hat. So the brim from the hat protects me from light coming from above, and I don't have to wear some dorky glasses that have a cover going over like this. So a hat is one option you can do to protect you from the overhead light. A lot of restaurants I go out to have either LED or fluorescent lights. And the street lights where I live, they're all LED too. So anytime I go out at night now, got my hat on to give me that extra protection. So Carlos wants to know, are the new Raw Optics as good as the color ones? They are, and in fact, they're using Blue Tech lenses, and Blue Tech lenses actually does have some published research on them showing that Blue Tech lenses increase melatonin production by 96%. So they are very effective. Carlos says, my iPhone is always on the red screen, don't care. Yeah. Good for you, Carlos. And your eyes actually adapt back to it pretty quickly. I know when I first did it, it looked a little kind of funky, but you get used to it pretty quick. When other people see my screen, lots of people are like, I can't even read that, and that's because they've adapted to that very strong blue light. but your eyes will adapt back. You'll regain your sensitivity. And when you see somebody else's screen, it's almost blinding, and it really puts things in perspective for you. Dewey Lehman, Blue Block's clear lens is questionable. I'm going to hack it. Yeah, I'd be interested to see that, Dewey. The Blue Blocks I own, I have some orange Blue Blocks, which I do wear at night. I do not own the clear lens ones, so I don't know, but I think they're a good company. I'm not going to knock them, but I'd be happy to see the results. So I'll take a look at that when you post that. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Please share this if you found value. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you got value, and I'll be back soon. Everyone take care, stay warm if you live up north or in the Midwest, and protect yourself from blue light, guys and girls.